Hi, I'm Michelle B. Griffin, and welcome to the podcast of the She's Visible movement, the show where we help women experts become recognized authorities in their fields. Each week, join me and my guests as we share our lessons, our stories, and what it really takes to build the visibility and personal brands of women just like you. I'm delighted you're here. Now let's get going with today's show. Welcome back. I'm Michelle B. Griffin, and I'm so glad you're here. This week, we're unpacking a topic that I've heard a lot of. In the last couple weeks, I've had so many conversations with women experts, founders, and heck, even my own mother, who are ready to put themselves out there to do something bigger and bolder than ever before, but they are scared. Or they feel unsure and uneasy of visibility and even personal branding in general. I have too in the past that it's so self-promotional. Is it narcissistic? I hate talking about myself. I'm raising both my hands here still to this day. And I know I need it. I know my business needs it. And the people I'm here to serve need to see me. But it's so freaking hard. So today we're going to talk about that because it's so normal, especially when you're ready to go and get out there in a bigger way. And that's your intuition saying you are ready. But then the other side is the judgment monster, as I've talked about in the past. That was the topic of my TEDx talk last year, how to overcome the judgment monster and boldly put yourself out there. I'm going to unpack some very actionable things you can do today for what I call the guardrails to put yourself out there. We know now why it's so hard. We know we need it, but not often do we get the exact steps or a reframe to put yourself out there, and actually how to take those bold but baby steps to do it. See, I've suffered through it myself. I know exactly how it feels. It took me 5 long years to fully put myself out there to start my business. And again, when I got out there, I sat on the sidelines of LinkedIn for 9 months. But there are so many times in my life when I've gotten out and stayed stuck. But with steps I'm going to give you today that we're going to walk through together, you're going to feel a lot better. So if you're ready, let's get into it. Before you put yourself out there, it's a heck of a lot easier to know these few things. First of all, as I've mentioned to women in these conversations who are like, Michelle, it's so hard, but I need to learn branding, visibility, all that you're teaching. I say, yes, I know too. But if you take the focus off of yourself and put it to service, it's a heck of a lot easier to put yourself out there. Now, what do I mean by that? Take the focus off yourself. Now, I'm not saying we should forget ourselves, but think of this. We all have gifts, a solution, a business idea, a story, a message that you know changes lives. It changes your clients' lives. You've seen it happen. You know it works. But if those very people you're here for don't know you or even don't understand you, as in don't understand what you do clearly, there's a disconnect. So as women business owners and founders, strategic visibility is not so much vanity. It's a business asset. And it truly is an act of service when we're putting ourselves out there. And that's what I do in the days that I don't want to do it. And I get that way a lot. I think, well, goodness, I have all these tools and resources and knowledge that I want to share with the brilliant women I'm here for. So it's not about me. It's about the cause and the contribution I'm here for. So think of that for yourself. I know you listening have something amazing to share. And those people you're here for absolutely need it. So think of that as your North Star. Have important work that changes the lives of the people you're here for, or the businesses, or whatever that is, insert that for you. You know why your work matters, but what is the purpose behind it? For me, you'll hear me say this a lot. I want to see more women on stages, featured in pages, and earning better wages with visibility as that economic and business driver. When you're putting yourself out there strategically to build the brand and the business that you're here for, it is going to an absolute lever and flip to your business opportunities, to clients, to partnerships, to credibility, to authority. But when you know what you stand for ultimately, and that was what I stand for, I call it your brand stand. It's your conviction that you know something is either right or wrong in your industry or area, or what you so passionately believe about. So that's number one. And number two is this. Who am I here for? And trust me, that is someone, not everyone. Now, you might hear the word niche or who do I really help? I say throw that out the window. It's your narrow lane. Who is the narrow lane of who you're here for? You can cross generations or ages or religions if you just go by the problem you solve. And that is number 3, the problem you solve and for whom. So I know I'm here for women experts and founders who need to build a brand, get visible, get opportunities that grow their brands, their businesses, their bottom line, and their impact. So that's who I'm here for, and they're ready. They're absolutely ready, sometimes a little bit hesitant, but I'm here to guide them along. And I do that through really core positioning. Once you're really clear in your positioning, it's a lot easier to get out there. So going back to these steps, what do I stand for? Who am I here for? And the problem I solve for them. Remember, it's someone, not everyone. The more narrow lanes you can get, the faster the traction. Those are some high-level things. If you just stop and write these down instead of just thinking them through, I promise you, your brain's going to start clicking. And maybe you're just going to reset or reimagine because you may be facing too many ideas or feeling not dialed in enough. This will help you start bringing that along. Now, number 3 is, what value do I bring? You've heard me say so many times, visibility is not vanity, it's value. And again, going back to what we said, we all have a transformation or solution or message or story to bring someone. But what do I really bring for them? What does that mean for them? When you know what you do and how it changes lives specifically in plain language, that helps you click into it and them too. So I know that I help women get clearly positioned so that they can get visible and get PR opportunities and land partnerships and clients. And not only do I help them get well positioned, but aligned across everything. So that is core what I do, personal brand positioning, PR strategy that aligns. And I do that with my frameworks and my core products and programs, AI-powered tools, an app coming soon. So I know the value I bring and how I do it. That's because you also may be doing things that don't light you up. You can do it and maybe you're making money from it, but it doesn't light you up. So just kind of think, am I doing what I love as I bring value to others? That's another important consideration. Now, the next one, number 4, is how am I different? What makes me different? What am I known for? The difference I'm known for. Now, that's what a lot of women come to me in my one-on-one programs because they're just brilliant at it maybe for others, but when it comes to them, it's just too hard. But when you absolutely know how you're different and how you show and explain that difference, it's going to be a lot easier for people to understand you. What are some of the key things that make you different, like your experience, where you worked, a personal story? These are all things that lead to your difference. And one of the best ways, especially in the age of AI where content is a commodity, how do you see things differently? Do you have a framework or branded IP or a process or anything branded that just shows something different? So what makes me different? It can be your philosophy, your story, or even a framework, or all above. We all know it's so important to put ourselves out there, to be visible, to be seen, to be known, and even more importantly, to be trusted. We all know it's important. We all know how hard it is, especially when you're ready to do your next level thing. But I can assure you, when you bust through it, maybe even reset answering these 5 questions. What do I stand for? Who am I here for? What problem do I solve? What value do I bring? And how am I different? It's going to help you maybe unlock or reset, even just get back on track if you're feeling a little generic or just not yourself. Because clarity must always come before visibility. You get your clarity and start being visible, your authority grows and you become that known, trusted, and chosen expert you are. Now, if that is something that resonates with you, I have discovery calls and I do offer one-on-one programs to help you get unstuck. And coming soon, new programs and tools to help you get unstuck and put yourself out there. Check out michellebgriffin.com and shesvisible.ai, where I have resources, tools, a newsletter, and of course this podcast to help you start being seen and leverage visibility as a business asset. So that's it, my friends, for this episode. Until next time, keep putting yourself out there. You have a brand to build, a message to share, and people to impact. I'll catch you next time. That's it for today's episode. And before we go, can I ask a favor? I would be so honored if you could give this show a rating and a review, because that helps more women who are maybe on the sidelines and so ready to put themselves out there or who are ready for their next level and can find us and learn everything they need to build their visibility, their personal brands, and become thought leaders in their space. Thank you so much. Until next time, take care.